everyone. So
All right,
I
we're gonna
believe
start
we are on
now.
multiple, I think we're on like 3 different Facebook channels and YouTube all at once. This is amazing.
Yep.
We're trying out Restream and we're running way behind. So we're going to do a show. Everyone, join us. Give us lots of comments. We're going to tape 2 very quick episodes of Money with Friends. And Joe, are you recording the audio backup?
I got it. This is for tomorrow. Let's do it.
All right. On this episode of Money with Friends, big post-merger changes at Charles Schwab as it integrates TDAmeritrade. How will those changes affect trading and investing and your money? It is Saturday, August 7th. Let's talk money with our friends. Welcome to the Money with Friends podcast. I am certified financial planner, Bobbi Rebel, host of the Financial Grown Up podcast, coming to you from my very grown-up kitchen in New York City.
And I'm Joe Salciha, host of the Stacky Benjamin Show, coming to you live from my mom's Fish basement now in Stowe, Vermont.
This is the Money News Show that includes commentary on recent headlines and stories with thought leaders from across the financial landscape. We break those stories down into what matters to you, our friends, and we leave you with a takeaway to make it your own.
Today's show is brought to you by NordPass. Money with Friends has there's a great deal for our listeners. NordPass, you get a 2-year plan and a month free. You can get rid of password stress forever. Enjoy unlimited premium features, a 30-day money back guarantee. Save 50% now if you go to nordpass.com/MWF. That's nordpass.com/MWF. I noticed I can't talk to, and you are a day in the past, Bobbi. It is Saturday the 8th. Sadly,
did I do that? Oh my
back.
Goodness.
You did.
You know, this is such a TGIF,
right.
Joe. This is such a TGIF because it's just been a lot of behind the scenes chaos. And what we love is that we do this show live and we have a fabulous live audience and they get to see a lot of the behind the scenes. So everyone should definitely join us. We're on YouTube at Money with Friends. And you can see, not only do you get to listen to all of the chaos, but you also get to see the behind the scenes. So everyone should join us and they could see why I was so confused about what day it was. But I do know it's August and I do know it was Saturday. It's Saturday. So I'm messing up, but I've got 2 out of 3 of the date things good. Almost
That
there.
is especially good because every day the days seem to blend into each other. But we've got some big news from a merger land. We know that last fall, TDAmeritrade swallowed by Charles Schwab. Let's see what's going on there and which one of our friends can help us start the show. All right, this piece comes to us from Investment News. It's written by Nicole Casperson. The headline is Charles Schwab to adopt TDAmeritrade's trading rebalancing technology. Charles Schwab announced on Wednesday it'll integrate TDAmeritrade's Thinkorswim and ThinkPipes trading platforms, as well as iRebel, an institutional portfolio rebalancing tool, after closing its acquisition of its former rival. The discount brokerage plans to combine TD's trading platform with its own platform, Street Smart Edge, to provide a unified trading experience for clients, according to the announcement. Schwab did not specify, however, if other TD technologies like Advisor Client, RIA Connect, and most notably VO1 would be considered for integration. The combination of our respective trading teams' experience and capabilities with the advanced trading technology of ThinkPipes will create an even more compelling offer for advisors when integration is complete, said Bernie Clark, head of Schwab Advisor Services, in a statement. Bobbi?
Schwab plans to retain the Thinkorswim, ThinkPipes, and iRebel platforms, along with associated tools, as a part of the overall resulting technology platforms at Schwab after integration, according to a company's spokesperson. Still, it is unclear if combining TD's trading tools into Schwab's platform means the products will remain standalone offerings, but it makes sense for the firm to keep TD's active trader platform separate and avoid migrating users from one platform to another amid the market volatility that is likely to last well beyond the integration of Schwab and TD, according to 8 Group's head wealth management analyst Greg O'Gara. To consolidate the platforms in this current environment would be too disruptive to their active trader clients, O'Gara said. Users are entrenched into these platforms that are already well developed, he said. No one in a volatile market wants to change to a new trading interface. Having more trading and rebalancing tools will only make Schwab's portfolio of offerings stronger, he said. With iRebel, Thinkorswim, and ThinkPipes, I don't see any short-term or long-term reason to consolidate those individual tools, as each tool has a nuanced interface the clients are used to. While Thinkorswim is tailored for retail traders, the ThinkPipes platform provides advisors with additional portfolio management, risk analysis, and the ability to place more complicated orders and options trades. Schwab's anticipates the integration of the 3 tech-driven products to take between 18 and 36 months after completing the acquisition, which is expected in the second half of the year. Once the deal closes, where and how the clients of the 2 firms access their accounts, their pricing, and who they contact for service or advice will remain unchanged until the account conversion process begins. Let's leave it there for now.
Yeah, no, I think
Joe?
I think this is really interesting, Bobbi, because this whole merger, what people really worry about here is this just one big company swallowing another, or as a end user, am I going to see any better stuff? And I don't know if you've used any of these tools, Bobbi, but TD Ameritrade was always known for pretty good tools. And I think that in this piece, and this is some kind of behind the scenes stuff that a lot of people on the retail side won't see, is that they really did a good job of using TD Ameritrade's best stuff and saying, we're definitely going to make that a Schwab tool. So from where I sit, this shows me that maybe this is going to be really good for end users.
Well, I like the fact that in a merger, there's a lot of thought going into how the integration goes based on how it's going to work, not just for the company, but also for the clients. As a journalist for so many years on Wall Street, I reported on some of the biggest mergers, which in turn obviously were some of the biggest merger flops, because quite a few mergers become disastrous. And a lot of that is because the company making the acquisition, because of internal political reasons, often just absorbs the company that they're buying. Even if those tools or that product might be better, it gets pushed to the company that is sort of the stronger one. It sounds like here they're being thoughtful and saying, okay, even though Schwab is buying TD, if we have a product and it's a nuanced interface that those people like, let's think about very carefully whether we want to just push them into our interface, because that might backfire on us.
That was specifically what I was worried about with this merger, was that some of these great TD Ameritrade tools like Thinkorswim were going to get covered up. We'd never see them again because somebody's ego, might be hurt at Charles Schwab that Ameritrade had a better tool. But that doesn't seem to be the case. There's another thing here too that I find interesting, Bobbi, and tell me if you feel the same here. Notice, so Investment News, the place we got this from, is a place for financial advisors. And all they're talking about here is how they're trying to give advisors the best tools, the best stuff, the best data, so that advisors can help their clients make better decisions. And yet, and I love this discussion because on the advisor side, they're worried about more tools, decision making. On the retail side, all I hear about is pay lower fees, pay lower fees, pay lower fees, pay lower fees, right? And I get it. And I get that the fee dragon is something that we want to fight. But I think having better tools is something that more of us should be focused on. The pros are really focused on great tools. Not a lot of discussion here about how fees are or how that's going to change. I mean, and we've done our share of, you and I were talking about this as we were texting yesterday back and forth, getting ready for this. We've done our share of beating up on Robinhood, right? But Robinhood, Bobbi, has no tools. There are and people are obsessed with this thing with no tools. And Schwab is trying to bring the best tools possible to people. They have so many more features. And I'm not, Schwab paying us to say this, but why you would go with a platform that has nothing in it versus one that's trying to give you even better tools, whether it's this or one of the other platforms out there, beyond me.
I think it's important that people be okay occasionally. First of all these companies, for the most part, have waived the trading fee. So that became a moot point. So that was a big advantage that people saw at Robinhood. That's no longer the case. But you can't make these decisions on price alone. Sometimes it's okay to buy something that's more expensive because it's going to give you the value and it's worth the money. You and I have had this discussion behind the scenes about our business. And we agree, when something is going to be better and help you make more money ultimately, then it is worth paying up. Not all fees are bad, because at the end of the day, you want the people that you are doing business with to be able to earn a living and stay in business. So sometimes you should always be aware of the fee, but you shouldn't make your decisions only on the fee. And in this case, the fact is the trading fees have actually been removed from the decision-making process. You can get incredible tools really by just having your assets in-house at a certain brokerage firm, whether it be Schwab or a competitor. A lot of them have wonderful trading tools. Now, we are, by the way, on a new platform we're trying out for this broadcast. I can see our audience comments. Joe, can you see them under the chat option?
I see two. I've got one from Justin saying good morning to us on Facebook. Annette also is here and says the general public doesn't understand the value of the tools that they're paying for, which actually, Annette, I'm gonna save my comment there. I completely agree with that. But that's going to be part of my big idea, Bobbi.
Oh, really? A little sneak preview. Okay.
A little sneak preview. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, in just a second.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, do you want to transition to the big idea?
We can transition, but I want to make one little point that people always think of things that everything has to be free. And with media, that's been a big problem for the industry, that people got used to free. And then when Netflix came along, they got used to, okay, I'm going to pay because I feel like I'm getting something worth paying for. So that was my analogy. Okay, now you transition.
I totally agree. In just a second, Bobbi and I are going to have the big takeaway, the one I can't wait to tell you. But we'd like to say big thanks to NordPass for supporting Money with Friends. You can get rid of password stress forever, enjoy unlimited premium features, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and save 50% now by heading to nordpass.com/MWF. And when you go there, what you will find is that when it comes to your passwords, you want to make sure that you have different passwords everywhere. You want to make sure that they're difficult so that hackers can't get at the password easily. And also, you want to make sure that all the people in your family know, all the people that need to know are able to know exactly what the passwords are. So we get password stress in two ways. Number one, no more asking back and forth, what's the password for this or that? On the other side, no worry that your passwords are all the same. Password 123 as an example. Head to nordpass.com/MWF and you'll find the 30-day money-back guarantee, up to 50% off and more at nordpass.com/MWF. All right, Bobbi, you know what? We'll save mine for later. Why don't you go first? What's our big takeaway today?
So my takeaway is that we talk so much about putting our investing on autopilot and just putting money in on a regular basis and just, not looking at our investments. But it is important to keep up with where we have our money, what tools they have that can be helpful to us, or just if there's other things going on. I mean, what if you were at a company that was acquired by another company and they were shutting down your tools, which is not the case here. But it's really important to be aware of who's got your money and what is going on at that company and make sure that you're using any resources that are available to you.
Yeah, I think I totally agree. And on your point really leads nicely, Bobbi, into what I was thinking, which is if you want to be better at anything, what do? You look at what the pros do. When I was transitioning from being a financial planner into writing more often, I'd written a lot in college, but I hadn't written in a long time. So the first thing I did was went and read what professional writers do. If you want to be great at either trading or if you want to be fantastic at managing your money, you look at how people that are good at that, what they do. And that's when you start to see this difference that we hear about, frankly, not enough, which is people that are pros worry about having better tools and better decision-making ability. People that don't know, they worry about just paying lower fees. Because if I don't know what I'm doing, I might as well just pay less for it. So we can either pay less or we can figure out what we're doing. And I think that is the takeaway. And by the way, if we can lower our fees and have better tools, we still want to pay attention to fees. So my point's not that you need to pay $1 billion. My point is, think that looking more at what the pros do to get good with their money is a great idea.
Well, and you said it so correctly. It's not don't pay fees. It's pay attention to the fees and make a deliberate decision about what is worth and what's not. There are times in our life when it is important to have, for example, a live person, an actual human helping us, not a robo-advisor. But there's also a space for robo-advisors that can make sense for people at different stages in life or with part of your portfolio. It's not a cookie cutter situation. Just as you said so well, Joe, pay attention to what you're paying for.
I think that's a great place to cap it, Bobbi. On that note, we're going to be back. Speaking of fees and speaking of knowing what you're getting into, Monday we're talking about MLMs. We're going to have some fun with that. She's Bobbi. I'm Joe. We'll see you again here next time at Money with Friends. Bye-bye. 15. Ready to press record? Let's do the next one.
Hold on. Let's do the next one. Okay.
Because I have no time after this, neither do you. All right, this is for Monday. Here we go, guys. You guys are watching, you're watching 2 seasoned pros. Bring it. We might not be able to talk well, but we're bringing it. This is for Monday multi-level marketing.
On this episode of Money with Friends, the myth of the hashtag GirlBoss, we've got a wake-up call and some eye-opening information. It is Monday, August 10th. Let's talk money with our friends. Welcome to the Money with Friends podcast. I am a certified financial planner, Bobbi Rebell, host of the Financial Grown Up podcast, coming to you from my very grown-up kitchen in New York City.
And coming to you from my mom's half-finished basement in Stowe, Vermont, where we make the Stacky Benjamin show, a place where I just ran out of coffee. I'm Joe Saul-Sehy.
Oh my goodness, it's tragic. This is the Money News Show that includes commentary on recent headlines and stories with thought leaders from across the financial landscape while Joe drinks his coffee. We break those stories down into what matters to you, our friends, and we leave you with a takeaway to make it your own.
Today's show comes to us courtesy of Tiller Money. Big welcome from Tiller to Money with Friends listeners. You can optimize your financial life in Google Sheets or in Microsoft Excel with fast automatic transaction imports, easy templates, and a free 30-day trial. Head to tillerhq.com/MWF and you can check it out and see why we like it so much. That's tillerhq.com/MWF. Bobbi, happy Monday. We're starting the week talking about getting your friend to sell stuff for you. That's always fun.
Or some people might say helping your friends achieve financial independence.
That is true. Good point.
Maybe. Somebody got rich on an MLM scheme. Somebody.
We will see who. Well, let's see. Speaking of C, let's see which one of our friends that we coerced into helping us start today's show.
All right. Joe's still recovering from the weekend. He had a great time. All right. Let's do this. This comes to us from one of our favorite sources, the Financial Diet, home of Kristen Wong, who has been one of our co-hosts. We adore Kristen. Okay. So it's from the Financial Diet. The writer is Holly Ann Hobkirk, and the title is "You're Not a Girl Boss. You are just trapped in an MLM scheme." And the article begins, "I recently received an amazing business opportunity." I'm going to read this with feeling, Joe. "I recently received an amazing business opportunity. A stranger called Amara, whose Instagram bio reads, 'Own your story,' DM'd me to tell me I can earn a high income with low effort, all from my phone. It's completely free and full training is provided, but I should probably spend $725 on a starter kit as an investment to myself." Wow. If you've been on social media over the last 3 months, there's a good chance you've received a similar opportunity. Since the COVID-19 outbreak, just about every woman I know has been asked to join a multi-level marketing scheme. If you're not familiar with MLMs like Avon, Arbonne, Unique, FM Fragrance, Amway, and Nu Skin, they're product-based businesses that recruit unsalaried sales staff to recruit more unsalaried sales staff. A study on MLMs indicates that the majority of sales staff make a loss, and reps are required to engage in, quote, constant and aggressive recruitment of new members. So why are so many young women joining them? Well, MLMs have a new target audience, the hashtag GirlBoss. In the early 2010s, MLM's main clientele were suburban women in their late 30s to early 40s. One paper reported that Avon typically caters to the needs of people between 35 and 45 years old with higher education above high school. MLMs were even parodied in a 2015 episode of Schitt's Creek when David and Moira joined a pyramid scheme, only to learn the craze had swept through the town 2 years prior. At the same time this show aired, Sophia Amoruso's GirlBoss had just been published, and a new generation of younger women were becoming empowered by the idea of owning a business, smashing their hashtag goals, and living their best lives on Instagram, all in the name of feminism. You take a little bit of this, Joe.
All right, deal. Recent essays like Lee Stein's The End of the Girl Bosses here have shed light on the demise of this mindset, but it's still thriving with MLMs. Grace Wilson, a librarian who runs a MLM Busters, recently claimed that these companies use women, supporting women, to build a captive customer base of empowered reps spending money, and explains that they co-opt feminist language to justify exploitation. Outdated girl boss messages like the popular "you've as many hours in the day as Beyonce" lend themselves perfectly to MLMs because they promote the message that women are failing because they aren't working hard enough, rather than acknowledge the simple fact that 99% of sellers end up losing money when they invest in multi-level marketing. You can see this on pro MLM social media accounts. They post the same unactionable advice we've seen since the dawn of Tumblr feminism, like "girl, get out of your own damn way," and "hustle beats talent." Delve a little deeper into these millennial pink posts, and you'll find problematic boss shaming messaging like, "if you're not careful, your own fears of insecurity can trick you into a mediocre life. And you spend $10 a day on breakfast and lunch. That's $300 a month. You could start a business. You just won't prioritize." It's interesting. The piece goes on from there, Bobbi, as continues to talk about how a lot of times M's are selling the wrong stuff. And I don't know, overall, there is obviously a ton of negativity about MLMs in this piece. A lot of negativity where you and I talk, but are you really against MLMs?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm hesitating to say that because I don't like to be negative, and I think that there are people, if done correctly, there's MLMs that if you are in it and you are able to sell the actual product, which some people can, rather than just do the pyramid scheme part of it. I mean, there's really two businesses going on. There's the actual product they're selling, and there is nothing wrong with that. I mean, I was once invited to a party. I didn't know it was an Arbonne party, Arbonne, which is a company mentioned in here. And it was incredibly awkward because it was a very close friend of mine's close friend. So I didn't know the person throwing the party, but you're sitting there in this group of women, and she basically, by the end, after this whole presentation, which I didn't know was happening, you're really under the gun to buy something. And then she starts talking about how you can get the products, how great the products are. And she gets so many of them for so much less because she works with the company and she gets a massive discount. And it just felt kind of yuck. I just didn't like it. I don't know. Some people maybe do earn money actually selling the product. What I don't like about the MLMs is recruiting the people, the pyramid, because, telling people that they have to buy $700 worth of goods just to get started, it's just not nice. And what's new in this article, and the reason that I chose it, is it's the language that they're using. That's what's different. So they used to prey upon stereotypically people that were home, maybe women stereotypically that were home with children maybe, and they were looking for ways to have something of their own, something that they could identify with. It was social. You think about the Tupperware parties, and to some degree they could be harmless at that point. If you're selling people something they actually need, okay. But this is making people think that they own a real business when really they're part of this pyramid scheme in many cases. Of course, as I said, some people could be actually selling the product to people. And so there is that part of the business that is very legit. But really, it's a lot of work. From what I've heard, it's a lot of work to really make real income on this, unless you get in early and get a lot of people in I think it's called your downline is the lingo. But they're adapting this language, and they also, they want people to look a certain way. They talk about Instagram and people later in the article spending money on non-essentials to look like a girl boss, and they think they own their own business. That's where it sort of gets really sketchy.
Yeah,
Say
talking
something,
to a
Joe.
friend, talking to a friend who did Mary Kay for a while. She just kept spending more and more and more money on herself so that her numbers looked really good, and she got really into how she was ranking among all these other people. And before she knew it, she was in credit card up to her eyeballs. And man, I mean, she had a quote, free car, right? That was quote given to her, even though when she looked at the amount of money that she was spending on stuff that she wasn't using, she was giving it away to people, just to try to keep her numbers looking good. And it ended up being bad. That's my issue here, is that there's two things going on. Just like you said, Bobbi, there's the actual business, which might be decent. I mean, the product might be good, but the recruiting of people, I just find to be so brutal at first. And I love what you bring up here, the change in attitude, because it used to be the sales pitch was you can have something for nothing, right? Which never is true. You can sit back, make a ton of money, and everybody else does work for you. I always believed that was absolutely horrible, and there is no such business. And my question always was, if you can have a business where you do something for nothing, and you're telling me that that's what you do, why are you telling me this on a Tuesday night at 7:30 in the evening when you'd probably rather be home with your family? Not quite as glamorous as what you're sitting here selling me. Just look at where you're at. But then the second piece is, now they're presenting this as a better business opportunity, right? Which I do think on one hand is more truthful. I think you have to run this as a business because you do work for yourself. You have to figure out how to do more activity. In an MLM or any business, if you do more activity, you're probably going to be more successful. You're going to make mistakes quicker. You're going to get them out of the way, and you're going to get moving toward stuff that actually works. So on that end, I believe it. But then there's the next question, which they all avoid, which is, when you look at all the business opportunities out there, if you do want to start the business, is this really what you should be doing with your time? And the answer based on statistics in most cases is no, you shouldn't be doing this. You should go start your own business. You shouldn't do this.
And again, I think that it's important to note that a lot of this, it's a lot of mental games that they're playing with people by using these sort of catchphrases like the harder you work, the more money you'll earn, showcasing your life and make it more attractive. It's a selling tactic. They also talk about how I'm looking for more of these, girl, as you said, get out of your own damn way. Hustle beats talent. If you're not careful, your own fears and insecurities will trick you into a mediocre life. You spend $10 a day on breakfast and lunch. That's $300. Start a business. You're not prioritizing. I mean, it's really manipulative to me, the way that they're speaking to women and making people feel like, oh, I'm being empowered. You're not being empowered. You're being dictated to.
Well, you are, however,
and shamed for not being more successful.
I've had all of these thoughts myself about my own business, though. You know, I've had all these same thoughts, and I've said many of these things. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I've ever woken up in the morning and said, I have as many hours today as Beyonce has. I've never said that. But I have thought, you know what? I've got X number of hours in my day. I got to make them count, which is really what they're getting at. I don't think, you're right. These are truisms. They're unactionable. But by themselves, I'm not that, I'm not that negative on these things. I think there just is for me, the barrier isn't these tropes. Is this really the thing I should be doing with that time? Is this the thing that I should be doing? And, if you bust me for wasting my life, I think that actually is positive. If I feel bad because I'm not doing anything and I should be out there doing something, well then, okay, you help me out. But if you're helping me out by making me sell stuff to my friends that they want in their throat, invites them to a party didn't even know was coming, that might not be a best use of time. Hey, speaking of the time, we need to do our big idea for today, Bobbi. And to get there, first got to say a big thanks to everybody who's used our link at for managing their money. When it comes to managing your money, you've got two choices. If you're going to automate things, you can either go with a free solution where you're constantly going to have advertisements in your face. By the way, we talk a little bit about bait and switch here, Bobbi. How about this one? Oh, look it's free. I can look at my money. Yes. And I can also have people constantly marketing me because it was, quote, free, right? Or I can pay a very small fee. I can make things as flexible as I want, and I can have all my transactions automatically downloaded every day for me. That's how Tiller Money works. To learn more and to get a free 30-day trial, head to tillerhq.com/MWF. That's tillerhq.com/MWF. It's funny. Annette says that on Saturday's show, we talked about avoiding fees, and those same people, they'll overpay for products all day long, Bobbi, and says MLMs do a great job of hiding those fees. I think that's a great question to ask.
Yeah.
What is your takeaway here?
I thought you were going to go first because I went first on Saturday.
On Saturday, deal. I can go first. I don't think there's anything wrong with owning a business, and I don't think there's anything wrong with working hard. Or I think those are two really good things. I also don't think there's anything wrong with, quote, mentors helping you think about how you work hard. So none of that bothers me as much as it bothers this author. What does bother me is the fact that the person making the decision about whether they do this or some other job, I think they let themselves get talked into something that probably wasn't in their best interest. So whether it's an MLM or another business, going into business isn't bad. Evaluating your opportunity and finding the one that's for you that might not involve some of the shady sales tactics that some of these do. I think you've got to make a better choice.
I love that because it's ultimately up to you. And if you want to be the boss of yourself, you need to be the boss of yourself and not depend on someone else's business idea to carry you with no work. That's never going to happen. So well said, Joe.
Well, how about yours, Bobbi?
I see red lights everywhere, Joe. It's not just the MLMs and the, quote, friends that seem to find you when they have this perfect opportunity. They're always friends you haven't heard from in a very long time. It's being asked to do things that you should get paid for in the name of female empowerment or empowerment of various other groups that are looking for ways to improve their economic situation. So it's not just female. An example, I have a friend who literally, I kid you not, was asked to speak about how to get paid as a female speaker at a conference empowering moms, but she was asked to speak for free. Leave you with that thought. Just process that. Think about the irony there. They asked her to speak for free. They refused to pay her. And what she said in the end, because she wanted to attend the conference anyway, and she was going to be there anyway, but she basically said, then I'm not censoring anything, and I'm going to tell them that you're not paying me. And that's what happened. And they went with it. They didn't have the budget, which is, that I don't know their books. I don't know, but I didn't like it.
But they still put her on stage?
Yeah, they did.
She was able to say, wow.
And she was like, well, look, I'm there anyway. And I'm just not going to lie. I'm going to be like, I should have gotten paid for this. But sometimes what she said is that sometimes you do things because you care. And she said, I care about you guys. I care about the audience of moms there. And she wanted to support the moms and give them a message about, you should fight for being paid. But at the same time, if, she's like, I was going to be here anyway. And I wanted to help you guys. So it was worth it for her. But she was not happy. I
wouldn't be happy either.
But she was transparent.
I think that's a great place to stick a pin in it. Figure out how you're going to get paid. She is Bobbi. I'm Joe. Thanks everybody who's hung out with us live. Thanks to everybody who's listening. We'll be back here. Bobbi will be back here tomorrow with more Money with Friends. We'll see you back here then. Bye-bye. 17. Bobbi's got to go. Thanks, Tim. Glad you could join us. Everybody, sorry this was a pain.
We got to go. Bye. Yep.